It has been asked by Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Google, Bloomberg, TikTok, Adobe, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Uber, Oracle, ByteDance, Walmart, and not only this, but also his brother question, which is merge interval. It has also been asked by so many companies. So you know that this is one of the most important questions which you should be preparing for sure. Hands on. See, the only thing is why this question is so important is because of how you implement it. There can be various edge cases depending upon how you go on implementing this question. Again, if you want to go and do some practice questions, so I'll recommend do these two questions. Again, although you might seem like, okay, both are intervals, group overlapping intervals and non-overlapping intervals. So you might think, okay, maybe both of them are same, but no, this is the reason I am telling you, please go and solve these two questions after this question also. Again, in this video, we will see both this question, 56 merge intervals and 57 insert intervals. Cool. So let's firstly see our main aim, which is 57. And parallelly, we'll also go and see how it is comparing with 56. 56 is very easy, very easy. 57 is a bit tricky. So it says that you are given an array of non-overlapping intervals called as intervals. So I have again, they have already given us non-overlapping intervals. Okay. But if we go and look back, okay, question 56, which is very short, it simply says that we are given an array of intervals where our interval is nothing but, okay, an interval is always a start and an end. And we have to merge all these overlapping intervals and return an array of non-overlapping intervals. So they have given some array in which intervals can be overlapping. I have to return them in an array which is actually non-overlapping, and all the intervals actually should be covered. So if we look at the example itself, we can see firstly we have to merge the intervals. Whenever we have to merge two intervals, for sure, if I have two intervals given to me, let's draw as the line. If I have two intervals given to me, I know they are overlapping. How I know, Aryan? I know because I can simply see that if my start interval 1 start, interval 1 end, interval 2 start, interval 2 end. So I can simply see that my interval 1 start, interval 1 end, my interval 2 start is between interval 1 start and interval 1 end. Aryan, okay, that seems like a good thing to say, okay, it's an overlapping interval, but if it would have been extending like this, oh, then still, like, both these are overlapping. Both these are overlapping. How will you judge what are overlapping or not? Who are overlapping or not? How will you judge them? So simply what I can do one thing. I can simply know that, okay, I have to, either I can compare with my starting. I have to fix one thing. So that I can compare with the other variable. So I have to fix either my starting or either my ending. So I will fix my starting. Okay, I will simply sort all these intervals on the basis of their starting index. Let's say I sorted them. Then what will happen? If these two intervals, again, I know this is after him. I2s is before, I1s is after. So for sure, if this end element, if it is before or after, would not matter. If this start element is actually before this previous one end element, so for sure it is occurring between. If it is after, which means if this entire thing is after, so this is not inside my previous interval. So I can simply choose to say I'll simply compare these two values. Okay, start end. So I'll compare my start and it should be more than the previous end. That's what I want. If it is not more, bro, they are overlapping. Because if it is for sure, I know that I have fixed it. So for sure, the starting of the previous interval is for sure less. And the starting of the next interval is for sure more. So for sure, the starting of the next interval should be also more than the ending of the previous interval. Then only I can say they are non-overlapping. So I got to one thing, okay, sorting would be required for me for sure. And when the things are sorted, on the basis of start index for us, again, you can also sort on the basis of end index, but then your way of checking will actually change a little bit. Now, we thought of, okay, we will sort simply on the basis of start index. So as you can simply see that the input for us, already it is sorted. But if it is not sorted, you will sort it specially. You will have to sort it. Now we know that these intervals can be overlapping because we have to return the non-overlapping intervals. So I know, okay, 1, 3. Next interval is 2, 6. I can simply see that the start is actually less than the end. If it would have been more, then I can simply say they are not overlapping, but the start is actually less. So I know that these two intervals are overlapping to each other. So I can simply say one thing, bro, simply merge them. As I merge them, so I'll simply say, bro, simply I merge them. As simple as that. So I simply did what? I firstly figure out if they're overlapping or not. Firstly, I figure out if they're overlapping or not by just comparing that the interval which I have got so far, this one, which means the start, if it is more than the previous end, it is the previous end, it is the current start. If the current start is more than the previous end, bro, it is not overlapping. You can simply consider this as one interval and move on. But if this is actually less than my previous end, they're overlapping. If something is overlapping, simple, bro, simple, that simply you know that this start will for sure be smaller one, so start will remain same, and this end one, I can take maximum of this end versus this end. Aryan, why you take maximum? Why not you take simply 6? Because bro, it can still happen na. You sort on the basis of your start. What if this would have been 4 and this would have been a 6, right? So if you would have just erased in between them, so you have just put a 4, but after merging, you can simply see that after merging it will be a 6. So whosoever is larger, I will simply put it here, and this I can simply place as this only value because I know I have sorted on the basis of start. So this will always be less, start 1. So again, let's continue. So what happened? We had 1, 3, 2, 6. We checked this start is less than the previous end, so we'll simply merge it, which means we erase this and it will be maximum of 3, 6. So it became a 6. Okay, now let's go on to my next interval. This 8, 10. Oh, this interval, 8 is more than my 6. So they're not overlapping. Okay, bro, simply move on. 15, 18. Again, 15 is more than my 10. They are not overlapping. Okay, bro, simply move on. Next end. So that's how this is my answer. Now, the code will look very same. Again, I have not written the code because it is not exactly for this problem, but the code will be very, very, very simple. Firstly, I will sort the intervals. Again, when I sort, it will be sorted on the basis of its starting value. So simply intervals dot begin and then intervals dot end. Now, when this portion is done, then I will iterate on. Again, I have to bring in this merged interval array. So simply, let's imagine that you will make a simple new array as answer. Simply vector of vectors of int of answers. And then you will simply say that, okay, iterate on all the intervals for auto interval in your input, which is this intervals array, you will simply iterate on all the intervals. And then firstly, you will have a quick check that, okay, if your answer is empty, if your answer is actually empty, which means answer dot size, if this is a 0, then you can simply push the current interval in the answer. Okay, I'll simply push back the current interval in my answer because it is empty, right? And I have no need. Or if my current, this is my current interval, right? If my current interval and the 0 says start, if it is my current interval start, if it is more than my previous interval, and that is stored in my answer. So if it is answer dot back will give me previous interval and its end. If this is the case, then I should simply push back the new interval. Else, if it is not the case, bro, then simply what you have to do is, else in this case, grab out the back element. So I will grab out the back element and I'll push back the new interval, and that new interval will be, again, I will first grab out the back element. So okay, vector of int, I'll grab out the previous interval. Let's name it as prev interval. I simply grabbed it out and I simply mentioned it as answer dot back. I grabbed it out, and for sure remove it from the answer also, because I will be inserting new interval in place of this because it's a merge interval. So I'll simply say answer dot push back what? The new interval. So I'll push back, I'll just do a pop back firstly. I'll do a pop back as in remove this existing interval from the answer. Now push in the new interval. So now I'll say answer dot push back new interval. New interval start will remain same as it is, as that of the previous interval. So I'll simply say previous interval of 0 will be the start, but the end will be maximum of previous interval of 1 or the current interval which I am at, and the current interval is this, or the current interval which is interval of 1, and that's gonna be your 1, and that's gonna be your answer. Simply you have now built your answer, simply return the answer in the end, and that's how you can simply solve the most commonly asked question. Now again, I told you this entire fact because this will be very highly used later on, that how, again, you saw that how things are being merged, right? That's a high level glance of how, again, to just merge. Again, you saw that I have an interval, I know it's overlapping, so I remove this interval out, I know the starting, I know the new ending, I just made a new interval and pushed it in my answer back. Okay, so we have solved the most important question in the most optimal time. Again, the time here used is simply O of n, space, no extra space used, because I have to return the answer itself, because this is the answer. Again, you can ask the interviewer if he wants to do it in place, or if he wants extra space, but yeah, ultimately that will not be counted in an extra space. Now coming on back to our actual question, that what is the change in this existing question? So it says that, okay, you are by default given some non-overlapping intervals, which was asked also, and the intervals same as the problem 56, start and end, you are given. They represent the start and end of the interval, and it is sorted in the ascending order. They are giving you non-overlapping intervals, but they have also given you the sorted. Again, one thing I missed, it will be O of n log n, because I actually did the sorting here, right? And yeah, sorting was important because you have to order in the basis of your start. Now they are already sorted, so maybe we don't need to sort it. That's one thing for us, we don't need to sort it as it is. Now you are also given an interval, a new interval. You are also given a new interval, which is this new interval, which represents the start and the end of the another interval. Again, we have an interval array, and then we have a new interval given to us. We have to insert this new interval into the existing intervals entire array, and then you have to return the final interval after the insertion of this specific new interval, right? So one very basic approach which comes to my mind is that I have these intervals. Again, remember a few things, that things are already sorted, things are already non-overlapping. You just have to insert this interval and make the final interval as non-overlapping. That's your aim, that's your task. So one very basic thing which comes to my mind, as I have already solved my intervals, merge interval problems, the one very basic which comes in my mind is, bro, I'll do one thing. I know these are the intervals, right? Although they are not overlapping, but who cares? I don't care. So I'll just simply say, push this new interval in the vector of this interval. So now my interval vector will become like 1, 3, 6, 9 and 2, 3. I just simply push back in the end. That's it. Now I have got this as the interval problem. Now this is the exact same problem as that of this one, that you have some intervals. Again, they are not ordered, they are actually overlapping also. You have to just produce me the non-overlapping intervals out of this input array. So you saw, you just simply you did a pushback. Again, sorry, it was 2, 5. You simply did a pushback. Then you have got the existing same problem 56. Then you will just simply do one thing. Okay, you know that you will have to sort it. And then apply the problem algorithm 56, which you saw right here. Then you will apply the exact same algorithm, and then you will simply receive the answer. That's it. So what happened? Because of this, the time which this will take, again, insertion will take O of 1 time, and then the entire algorithm, which means sorting and then pushing back, checking will take O of 1 time, pushing back will take O of n, like again, pushing back will take O of 1 time, but then removing it, you have to return all the intervals, so it will take O of n time. So ultimately, because of sorting as a bottleneck, it will take O of n log n time. It was O of n log n time. Great, but bro, you just simply converted the existing problem to the 56 problem. Although it will be solved, it will be passing for sure. But you know that we are given some inputs. Maybe we can take use of these inputs. The first input was, things are already sorted, bro. Things are already sorted. You don't need to sort it again. So instead of pushing it in the end, and then sorting it again. Maybe if I can push it at the right place, and then I can just consume it at the right place. I can merge it at the right place. Because see, what was happening? In this case, my interval was being merged. In this case, I was just placing my intervals as it is. But in this case, I was merging my intervals. Nice. So that is the point for me. I can maybe use this. Now, how to use this? Simple. Now, again, you have seen one approach, which is O of n log n, and the entire code is here. Now, we're just improvising it. How we can improvise it? We can simply say, bro, I can take use of this merged. How? I can simply say, okay, I have 1,3. I have 6,9. Technically, my brain knows one thing. My interval, which will be merged, will be at this location. Although you can use maybe binary search to know this location, but then Aryan, will this binary search will be useful? Like, as in, will it reduce the complexity? Again, because it is sorted. So first thing which comes in my mind is maybe we can use binary search. But then I will say, bro, if you see the next example, or if you even think of a little bit by yourself, you will see 4,8. This 4,8, all these intervals will be merging. So it can happen in inverse, it can happen that you will end up merging many intervals. Now, merging n intervals will take O of n time for sure. So no matter what, even if we use O of log n time to search for a location that where I need to merge, but merging that location itself can take O of n time. So why to go for binary search? While we are going linearly on all the elements of the array, I will check if I can merge them. I will merge them. If not, I will move on. Although I am not good at moving on, but still. So what happened in this case is that you had 1, 3. Now you will simply keep on building your answer. My final answer is 1,3. Now came the new element, which is 2,5. Okay, 2,5. I can simply see that, bro, it is overlapping. Okay, if it is overlapping, simply apply the exact same strategy. That simply merge them. Okay, I will simply say merge them. Again, exactly same did. I did exactly same thing. Now, okay, I go on to next interval, which is 6,9. Okay, bro, 6,9. It is outside, it is not overlapping. So simply this is the answer. And you can also see this is the answer. Wasn't it so easy? Wasn't it just that I have to keep track of this element where he should come? Visually, it seems very okay that Aryan, you placed this element at the correct location and then you merged it. That's good. So I have to just keep track of this new interval, that okay, what's the correct location of this new interval so that it can be merged at the correct place. For that, visually, we did right now visually. Okay, I just placed it by myself. How or where it should come. How I will do actually in the problem, that's the task. So let's again take these intervals. Again, now I will not take this now I will not place the new interval visually. I will do by algorithm I can do it. So I had 1,2, I had 3,5, I had 6,7, I had 8,10, and I had 12,16. Now I know that my new interval starts off from 4. It starts off from 4. So for sure, anything whose end time, and again remember, anything whose end time is before 4, I can simply push those intervals as it is. I can simply say that okay, I will keep track. Again, make sure that this 4,8, you will simply say my start is 4, my end is 8. So any of the intervals whose end time is less than my start time will not be overlapping at all, never ever in future, right? So I'll simply say okay, I am at this specific interval, bro, which means ith interval, his end time is 2, which is less than the start time of my new interval coming in. So I can simply push back. So you will see that I am actually placing these intervals in specific format, and I'm saying okay, this specific interval will go in the left portion. Okay, he will simply go away. He will never be needed to merge anyone. Okay, I'll go on to my next interval I. Bro, his end, or basically his end is actually more than my start. Which means that my new interval is this, and his start is 4, his end is 8. But my existing interval, which means the main intervals, it's ending at 5. So bro, for sure they are overlapping. I have to do something. Okay, so I will just say, bro, okay, I will again, you see, I have just put a partition in which now I know I need to get one interval, which is merged interval. I need to get one interval, which is merged interval. So I will now, again, that's a way we are actually thinking of implementing it so as to not disturb other intervals. So now I know, okay, so I am now merging my interval. I am now in an aim to merge my interval. Now I know one thing, okay, bro, this is the interval as 4, this is as 3. Okay, so I will simply place a 3 here, and here will come the maximum of 5 and 8. Maximum is 8, so I know it is 8. So now merging this interval and this interval 4,8, it became a 3,8. Aryan, like, so what is this 3? Is this 3 your intervals of I, 0, and this 8 is your new interval of 1? Is it what you are saying? I am saying no, bro. There can be many possibilities. How? For example, if this 3 would have been a 5, still you will see it is overlapping intervals. So still you would have placed a 3 here, still you would have placed a 4 here, which is this specific minimum of start, which is this minimum interval. So I'll say simply, bro, one thing, that this 3 is nothing but minimum of my new interval. Again, remember, what is a new interval? New interval is what you have given. New interval of 0, which is the start and for sure, and the current interval of I, and the current interval of I. But interval of I is a vector, so again the 0 for it. Comma. Sorry, new interval of, yeah, okay, this is comma minimum. So this is the starting of my merged interval. Again, the ending of this merged interval will be nothing but maximum of new interval of 1, comma interval of I of 1. So this is my maximum this will be my merged interval vectors. Now, okay, simply, bro, move on. Now, okay, again 6, 7, its end. Again, just have a quick glance. 6, 7 will lie somewhere here. You know that you are going on. And you can simply see that, bro, my 8 is actually my 8 is actually more than my this end itself. So for sure 8 will lie afterwards. I can stop only when the new interval is after my this merged interval. Then only I can stop, right? I can only stop when my new interval coming in is after. So which means the start of any new incoming intervals, which means for the ith index, the start should be more than my 8. Only then I can actually stop merging the intervals. But now I can simply say my start is 6, my end is 8. I cannot. I have to still merge them. Again, minimize 6, 3, minimum will be 3, maximize 8, 7, maximum will be 7. Okay, move on. I. Again, this interval is 8, 10. I can still not stop because actually this is 8, 10, which means exactly at 8. I can only stop when the new interval is after my 8. After, not equal to, even after my 8. So again, I'll have to merge them. If I say merge them, which means merge minimum of 3, 8, 3. Maximum of 8, 10, okay, 10. So it will be 10. Now, okay, next interval come in. This is 12. Simply 12. Oh, now I am relieved. Interval is merged. Now I can simply place on all the remaining. Again, I know that all the other elements will for sure be non-overlapping. So I simply can place all the other elements as it is. 12, 16, and so on and so forth. So you saw that the merging happened at this location, and I merged this to one interval. So it's the same way I can implement it, which means I'll simply say I'll break my entire crux, which means I'll break my entire algorithm down to 3 steps. One step I pasted as it is. One step I did merging. Again, merging exact same concept, you will see. Then last step, exact same pasting as it is. So let's see the code. It's pretty simple. I firstly took the start end. This is the start end of new interval which I had. In this case, if you remembered, my start end was 4 and 8. So I just put in my 4 and 8 as start and end. Although you can just name it as anything which you want. This is not required. I was just trying something else. This is not required. N is your size of the intervals because you have to iterate on all the intervals. And this I is a pointer which help us iterating on all the intervals. Now, again, as I told you, I'll break it into 3 steps. First step is simply, if you can keep on moving, simply keep on moving, which means your new interval was 4, 8. So any of these intervals whose end is actually less than my start, simply keep on pushing in your answer. So any of the interval any of the intervals which I have, whose end, this is the end of this intervals which I had, which if it is less than the start, this is the start if you remembered, then simply keep on pushing it. Okay, now I will do something here, I will do something here. This is the merging step. This is the merging step. Again, merging, how the merging will happen? We remembered that, okay, merging will not happen only when the intervals start value is more than intervals. Again, the merging will not happen only when the interval start value is more than the merged interval end value. Only then the merging will not happen. So when will the merging happen? When this start value is less than or equal to your end value of the merge. So I just made a new merged interval right now and named it as start and end, right? And I said that merging will happen provided my this interval start value is actually less than or equal to my end value of this merged interval, right? Okay, and then how the merging will happen? Simply, what is the minimum, which, because you have to update this start and end of the merged interval, so start will be nothing but minimum of the existing start, and the interval start versus end will be the maximum of existing end versus the interval end, and ultimately keep on increasing your I pointer. Ultimately, when things are merged, then you can simply push this merged interval as an answer, because I told you we will break it down into 3 steps, and then this is the merged interval which I have. I can push that in my answer. Now ultimately, for the last step, push the remaining ones. So the remaining ones which I have, whatever I have remaining ones, I'll simply push those intervals in my answer, and that's how I can simply solve it. Ultimately return the answer. So you saw, you are just iterating on all the intervals, which means you have n intervals. So time will be O of n for us. O of n for us. And for sure, we are not using any extra space other than the space of answer, vector, which is for sure required for the answer to return. We are not using any extra space, so it will be O of 1. And that's how you can simply solve it in the most optimal time. See, you learn 2 variations. Again, you learn 2 ways to solve it. First way is nothing but actually shifting the problem to problem number 56, and then the other way was problem number 57. Cool. Again, make sure this interval problem is very much asked by FAANG companies or many product-based companies, because of the fact of it shows how clearly you can implement it. Because if not, then you will have many if conditions, many edge cases, and then you will keep on handling that. And it's the most, again, people take a lot of time to implement it, because these problems, although look easy, but are not at all easy when you start implementing them. So yeah, cool. Bye bye. Cheers.